So we're going to measure the melting point of a solid. To do this, we'll use the melting point apparatus, and first we need to load the solid into a capillary rod. A capillary rod is a very thin tube of glass that has one end sealed and one end opened. We will fill the capillary by taking the open end and pressing it into the solid in a sort of stabbing motion to try and get some of the solid inside the capillary tube. Having got the material into the open end of the capillary, we now need to move the material down to the base of the capillary. And we could do that by perhaps tapping on the bench, or alternatively, we could use a longer glass tube with a wider diameter and drop the capillary into that tube. And as the capillary bounces, it will force some of the material from the open end of the capillary down to the base of the capillary. With the capillary rod loaded with your material, we should now insert it into the melting point apparatus. It should go into the apparatus just to the right of the metal wire, or to the left, so that it is in the center. The metal wire is the thermometer. With it in place, we should now dial up the temperature setting on the apparatus, perhaps to a 6 or a 7. And then the temperature will be reading on the digital device to the right. At this point, we should be looking through the magnifying glass on the melting point apparatus. And once the material starts to melt, we should make note of the temperature. And when the material has completely melted, we should write down a second temperature. Your melting point should be a range.